Hello, everybody. This is Fernando for the latest Godzilla Podcast. One more weekend, one more set of new results when it comes to the total box office that Godzilla has released. And finally, we have the best news possible. We finally have Godzilla reaching both major milestones, one here in the US and one here overseas. And it all happened this very week. And I talked about this a couple of weeks back. It looked like that Godzilla back then was like in the $175 million range, and it was already like almost out of the top 10. And it looked like at that point, oh man, this movie is not going to be able to make the $200 million mark to at least have boasting and bragging rights. But now, by good word of mouth and by continued releases on the second discount theater side, those places where they offer shows for like $1 or $3 each, it continued. It had its legs. It just kept going week after week, earning a couple of 100,000 here and there. And that's what essentially led it to finally cross the $200 million mark. And it had another good weekend in Japan, which pushed it, of course, over the $500 million mark globally. So, very good news on that part. That was the goal that the makers, Warner Brothers and Legendary, were looking for when it came to Godzilla. They were wanting to have it fall somewhere between 500 to 600 million, and this absolutely did the trick. So, not bad for a film that had come out, and this is essentially the first of its kind in a while. Of course, there was Pacific Rim, but considering that Pacific Rim didn't make as much money as Godzilla did, it made it even further difficult for Godzilla to try to entice audiences. And then on top of that, there was a 1998 film that, for all intents and purposes, is still in people's heads. So it had both those obstacles, the 1998 film and then Pacific Rim's somewhat dismal results to essentially overcome. And it did, and now it's in the $500 million mark range. So not bad for a movie with all those obstacles. And again, I'm sure Warner Bros. And Legendary have a big thank you to say to everybody out there who has continued to support the film through multiple viewings. I've seen it multiple times. I'm sure a bunch of you out there have seen it multiple times. It all comes from spreading word of mouth and making sure that others become interested. So all that's left now is just a couple more years, and then we'll finally get the sequel probably in 2017, 2018, and it'll grow from there. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. Take care.